Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny and welcome back to another installment of my Baroque Palace miniseries. So this is the final part. This is part 4 where we are going to be finishing the interior of the palace as well as doing the landscaping as well. So it's been a while since I've done this. I missed you all, but I had to take a break because I really wanted to honestly look after myself. But I want to hear how you guys have been doing this past couple of weeks. It's been around 3 weeks since I last put out my last video on the channel, so hopefully you've all been doing okay. But I do know that a lot of you are very excited for this project to wrap up. Honestly, I really wasn't feeling up to it, so I've been procrastinating on finishing this. I've been working on this once in a while, you know, whenever I felt like it, but it took me like, honestly, weeks or maybe even over a month to finish because it's been over a month since the last part came out. But hopefully you don't mind. I know a lot of you are really excited to download this build. Really quickly, I do want to address a couple of questions that I've been getting from you guys. First thing is that will I be making a CC free version of this build? And the answer to that is no. This build was specifically made to have CC in it. I wouldn't have done this without CC. Like, the rooms are planned to accommodate the ceilings and stuff like that, so this build was made for CC. Second question that I get asked a lot is, when am I gonna post the list of CC for this build? Well, hopefully soon. As of this point, I'm still working on making the list of CC. Thankfully, a lot of you have been giving me some suggestions on how I can better create that list, but right now I am so scared because I just used so much CC. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fit it on the video description on YouTube because now they have put a limit on the amount of characters that we can have in the video description, so I might have to find another way to make that list, but I will put a link to that in the description when I finish it. But please be patient, I will be working on it once this video comes up, so that's that. Also, I won't be able to provide a link for this build on the gallery because the Sims 4 gallery website doesn't actually host builds with CC, so I think I'm going to be sharing the tray files instead. This build will also be available on the gallery, but I think I'm also gonna share the tray files because it's also something that a lot of people ask me about. We are currently furnishing for the Queen's bedroom. We just furnished her boudoir, which is very much inspired by Marie Antoinette's boudoir. Those of you who have seen the 2006 movie, was it 2006, 2005? I forgot. It's one of my favorite movies and I forgot the year when it came out, but there is this one iconic scene, the I Want Candy scene, which takes place in the Queen's boudoir, and that was kind of like what I was channeling for that tiny little room over there. If you want to have a family, I think you can use that room as a nursery as well, because at the moment it's kind of a useless room, not gonna lie. And we also furnished the Queen's bathroom as well. It's almost identical to the King's one, except the color scheme's different. The Queen's one is definitely a lot more elaborate because it has a lot more gold and it also has a lot more ornate furniture as well. But moving on to probably one of my favorite rooms, this is the royal dining room. And once again, I was channeling the very famous dining room scene from the movie Marie Antoinette. If you guys remember, there's this one scene where she basically is just asking for a glass of water and it takes them forever to get to her. So I was kind of channeling that, which is why the layout of this room is a bit interesting. It's not your stereotypical dining room where, you know, people are sat around the table. Basically, the dining table is just for the king and queen, and there's basically a whole feast in front of them. I used some amazing CC from ZXTA on Tumblr. I will be linking down their CC as well, don't worry about that. But I just want to say I'm so happy we have that CC, because now that I realize it, we actually don't have a lot of food CC. Yeah, because we don't really have a lot of decorative foods. I'm really happy that I found those CC. I am very familiar with her CC in particular because I did use a lot of it when I built that medieval fantasy castle build a while back. That was like a couple of years ago. Also, this dining room has a harpsichord just behind where the king and queen is sat. And yeah, we're really happy with how this turned out. Actually, I love the lavish feast in front of the king and queen's chair. You can definitely see the opulence. I would have loved to put a cake somewhere, because, you know, Marie Antoinette is kind of infamous for her let them eat cake line, even though apparently she didn't say it, but you know, that would have been a really interesting reference. I'm putting these food on these plates right here. Let me know which one you think is the king's plate, and let me know which one you think is the queen's plate, because one of the plates just have some fruit and then the other one has a lot of meat and roast and all of that stuff. So I'm very interested to know your guesses as to which one of them has the bigger appetite. But yeah, a lot of Felixander content and the Jimmo 7 content as well. I initially started with a red color scheme for this room, but I decided to change it into blue instead because the other rooms in this house were already red. I used red quite a lot already, so I just went for this beautiful royal blue color, which I think really ties in with the queen's bedroom, because I did use some cooler colors for her bedrooms as well. But I want to take a second to ask you guys how you all are doing. Yeah, this is a very interesting series because this basically coincided with just the escalating COVID situation in my country. As you all know, when I started the series, it wasn't so bad. Unfortunately now it has just gone really bad, and I think the pandemic right now is at its peak. Unfortunately, we are getting like 10,000 daily cases and, you know, hundreds of casualties, and it's even worse in other countries like India, for example. So if you're from India watching this, I am really praying for you guys, and yeah, my thoughts are with all of you. I hope you're all staying safe and looking after yourself. You know, mental health nowadays is so important. So if you want to share, you know, whatever's happening in your country, please feel free to do that. I really want to hear from you, so go ahead and let me know how you're doing. But anyway, yeah, this is the kitchen. I really enjoyed this part because it is so different from the rest of the house. This is a basement kitchen. Actually, technically it's not a basement, it's more of a cellar kitchen. For those of you who don't know the difference, a cellar is partially underground, where a basement is fully underground. Actually, technically this is fully underground, but the concept of it was supposed to be a cellar kitchen, because I did put those windows over there, which is supposed to imply that this is just semi-underground, but you get what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm really happy with how this kitchen came together. Definitely a huge contrast from the very opulent upstairs of the palace. We have a very utilitarian, almost like medieval-esque kitchen. I used a lot of Felix Sander's Florence set, which you can download for free now, I believe, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And I also used Harry's country kitchen set as well, which I know for a fact is available for free. So that one had some very, very beautiful tables and cabinets. Really, really well done. And also a lot of other medieval CC as well, because I couldn't quite find some, you know, period accurate kitchen equipment. This is supposed to be like the Baroque period, so maybe early to mid 17th century, but yeah, I ended up using a lot of medieval stuff, which is fine. The main inspiration for this kitchen was actually supposed to be the kitchen in the Petit Trianon, and also I was really inspired by the kitchens at Chenonceau as well, which is one of my favorite chateaux, which is why you can see me put a lot of these like bronze or brass pots and pans, because they had so much of this displayed in the Chenonceau kitchen. And also the stove is also inspired by the one in Chenonceau as well, which is a Renaissance period chateau in the Loire Valley. Yeah, these cabinets right here are from Harry's country kitchen collection. So beautiful. I love them so much. They look very Elizabethan actually, especially this one right here. Kind of reminds me of like an Elizabethan wardrobe, so that's that. And I think the focal point of this kitchen would actually have to be that massive fireplace in the middle right there, which initially this kitchen was supposed to be lower. It was supposed to have a lower ceiling, but I needed to make room for that fireplace, so I ended up making it like the tallest wall height. But that fireplace is from Felix Sander's Gothic set. And here I'm using ZXTA's Food CC, which is so beautiful. I really love having that detail. I think it makes everything look so much more realistic and lived in. Super happy that I discovered that CC. And by the way, this room right here, the one where I put the barrels on, is supposed to be kind of like the pantry. So those like box things are actually functional fridges. Those are ice boxes, which I believe are supposed to be like a Victorian furniture piece, but yeah, I thought they were a good thing to use for the kitchen because they looked historic enough. And this is supposed to be like the place where they would wash the dishes. So those things that I put on the table are actually functional sinks from Mod The Sims. Those are from Plastic Box on Mod The Sims. Don't worry if you can't keep up with all of the CC that I'm mentioning. I will definitely be including them in the list of CC for this build. This is why I'm so scared to do the list of CC, because I downloaded so many like small things. I'm scared of possibly forgetting something, so yeah, we'll see. Wish me luck. And now we are moving to the landscaping part, which is going to be the last parts in this build. And honestly, landscaping wise, I kept it really simple. Nothing too crazy. I didn't want to overwhelm the landscaping with so many plants that it would cover up the palace itself, which first of all, it wouldn't really be that realistic, because the historical landscaping, specifically like for French palaces, tended to have, you know, landscaping that didn't obstruct the structure itself. So I was trying to keep that in mind as I was doing this. So instead, I just put some parterres over here. A lot of people did mention that they would like to see some fountains. Don't worry, I did incorporate some fountains over here with some symmetry as well. These are like fountain outlines from the Gym 07 on Mother Sims. Honestly, they are a lifesaver when it comes to historical CC. I don't know if I could have done this without their CC, to be honest, and it's so beautiful. They actually have a lot of like garden CC that I would love to use, maybe for another build in the future actually. But yeah, this is the fountain over here, and I gotta say, this looks so beautiful from the house actually. But really quickly, I want to give you all a personal update as well. So as you all know, I have started collecting anime figures, which started around late last year. Really funny story. This April, I got 15 anime figures, and trust me, that is a lot. 2 of those were Nendroids, so I got 13 like scale and prize figures. Also, by the way, I just want to say I didn't buy all of them at once. A lot of them were pre-ordered, some of them were pre-ordered last year. It just so happens that they all arrived on the same like week, so I got like a huge haul. I still have like a huge pile of boxes because I haven't unboxed all of them yet. I don't know why, but unboxing anime figures is just giving me so much anxiety for some reason. But yeah, I will unbox them eventually, and I would love to post them eventually. I would love to share them actually on the channel as well. But yeah, I just wanted to share that really funny story. Other than that, I have also been reading a lot of manga as well. I had to put the Death Note manga down for a bit because it was kind of getting boring. I'm not gonna get too specific, but it's kind of the part where they're dealing with this like one company thing, and it's a bit boring, so I had to move on to another manga, which is Black Butler. One of my favorite anime, one of my favorite IPs in general. I just have the first 2 volumes and I'm working my way through them. Surprisingly a lot funnier than I remember, but I really enjoyed it so far. If you're reading any manga, let me know what you're reading so far and if you have any suggestions. But this is the landscaping. As you can see, I just put some flower beds, and these are like planter boxes from the Gym 07 as well. Very beautiful. They look like the ones from the Orangerie in Versailles. So I loved using those, and those are the only trees that I will be using in this build. And yeah, I'm just putting these like urns with some bushes as well over here just to have some accents. But overall, I just kept it really simple with the landscaping, nothing too crazy to take away from the palace itself. But it looks like that is going to be it for this build. I just want to take a second to say thank you so much for all of you who've stuck with me throughout this series. It was supposed to be a mini series, but it took me 2 months to finish. But nevertheless, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.